So I'm off to Las Vegas to review another hotel for you guys, and instead of flying direct, I decided to fly to Phoenix because I've never been on the Boeing 787-9 aircraft. I've heard so much about the Dreamliner and how the low pressure and the lighting just makes that flight experience so much better. I am terrible flying overnight on red eyes. I can't sleep to save my life, and I was really looking forward and hoping that this aircraft would be able to fix that for me. Before I embarked on my 10-mile journey to Gate C3, I had a chance to swing into the American Airlines Admirals Club. I got a whole separate video on that, link above and down in the descriptions. But yeah, Gate C3, boy, it was a walk. Fortunately, the Honolulu Airport is open-aired, it's not sealed in, so there's some great opportunities along the way to kind of peek out, see what the aircraft are doing and how the loading process is. But still, it's a long walk. This was an 11:30 red-eye flight to Phoenix, so the crowds weren't mobbing the gate like they usually do. I wasn't too worried. I was in boarding group 2, but let me tell you, boarding group 1 seemed like it was half the plane. Anyway, made it on, boarded, and yeah, I was pretty impressed with this seat. The cabin had a nice 3-3-3 configuration. I thought the overhead bins were extra large and roomy. Nobody seemed to have trouble, loading up all of their carry-on luggage. The seats themselves, they were just basic, but what really stood out for me, of course, with any of these type of extra premium economy seats is I'm 6'2", so the extra leg room was a heaven sent for me. I fiddled with the windows a little. I know they have these electronic shades, so that was kind of new for me from the old school up and downs. That was kind of cool. I also thought it was great that the flight attendants could control it, so if they wanted to dim the lights for the entire cabin, boom, they can just do it on their own. The in-seat entertainment, that's a big plus for me. I totally get it about using your own devices and just having that little stand, but the screen TV for me is just way better. I just like it that way. The remote, I don't know about this cord. It's way too short. I guess it does serve its purpose. Of course, you got the power outlets. Did I mention the leg room? Yeah, at 6'2", this is the only way I want to travel at a minimum. I just cannot handle regular economy anymore. It just doesn't work for me. Tray table, yeah, that's basic. Yeah, and of course, once we got settled in, I looked around. I really like the mood lighting that they had set up. A nice little blue trying to lure me to sleep. Are you feeling sleepy now? So overall, I thought it was a great first impression on the Dreamliner. Before I knew it, we were pulling back from the gate and we headed out to the reef runway for a surprisingly quiet and smooth takeoff. So I was already impressed with this flight, the extra inches of legroom, the extra quiet takeoff, and of course the mood lighting throughout. That blue got a little bit darker, so yes, I was starting to feel even a little bit more sleepy. But before I passed off, I wanted to jump in and take a look at some of the entertainment options available. Let's take a look. The seat back entertainment center was touchscreen. I don't know about you guys, but hitting those little icons at 11:30 at night in the dark with a little bit of turbulence is always a little frustrating, tricky for me, but hey, I survived. If you guys appreciate this kind of content and like it, I would appreciate if you subscribed. They had loads of movies in the entertainment center. I was impressed. There was just about everything out there that you could want. I was most impressed with the sci-fi series of movies that they had in there. Quite a big selection. Really, really liked it. The in-flight tracking, where they track the flight and you can see where your plane is, of course, that's been upgraded. That looks a lot cooler than I've seen in some older models, so I really like following along with that. Then I kind of perused the drink menu. Of course, it was late at night, so I didn't really order anything, but they had quite a bit of selection. I really liked the large visual display of all the drinks, so you knew exactly what you were getting. And finally, they had quite a few games. I have found that playing games on flights really helps me pass the time, really helps me relax so I can possibly get some Z's. I just have a very difficult time sleeping on planes. So I was pretty happy with all the games that they had, played a little Angry Birds, and then they came around with snacks. Check this out. Did you miss it? Well, I'll tell you what, I sure don't miss it. I know it's an 11:30 p.m. red-eye flight. What more do you really expect to get on the plane? But it still just kills me when I'm on a plane for that long and you only come around once with juice and biscotti cookies. Oh, well, what are we going to do? First world problems, I guess. Well, the view outside as the sun started to rise was just serene. I'll let you guys enjoy that for a minute. And before I knew it, the mood lighting was changing to a nice early morning sunrise orange. Well, it looked like the orange lights worked because it was only a matter of minutes and the plane began to slowly wake up. As we cruised into Phoenix, it was kind of a slightly hazy but pretty clear mornings. Had some great views of the city below us as we kind of came in for our landing. Oh, my impression of this plane. Okay. I am a classic cannot sleep on the plane type of guy. Jet lag hits me hard. I need like 24 hours plus to recuperate on any flight that is heading directly east or west, 5-6 hours plus. If you're like that, then I would encourage you to look for the Dreamliner plane, because when I got off this flight, I was physically surprised at how rested I felt, even with only about 3+ hours of sleep. The lack of jet lag was impressive, and I will go out of my way going forward to make sure I get on one of these planes if it's possible to get to my destination. That's how happy it was, and ultimately I was able to hit the ground running when I ended up in Vegas. But before we got there, we came in for a nice, smooth, well-done landing. Let's take a look. Overall, a great flight, uneventful, which means it's the perfect flight. Here in Phoenix, I had a chance to visit the Centurion Lounge. I got a review for that coming up to you guys, and also our short flight from Phoenix to Las Vegas, so be sure to stick around. I'll see you guys in the lobby.